Well, Simon, having had a few days to reflect on Monday's draw against Bromley, what are your overall thoughts and feelings on that game?
Difficult game. I thought that we had some, probably in the first half, I thought we started the game really well. I thought we had some really effective possession, and we had a nice balance of being patient and fast, all in the same actions really. And probably, I think, on the day we were just a little bit short in the last third of the pitch, whether it's, that final decision to cross or pass, or the right numbers in the right place at the right time. But I think there were, without doubt, a lot of positives about the performance. I think we looked really, really solid. Of course, Bromley had their moments, which I think we have to acknowledge that our opponents are going to have from time to time, especially a team that's still in and around the playoff hunt, who've have had a go this year in terms of assembling a strong squad. So there was aspects to be happy with, but of course we were disappointed that we didn't make a breakthrough and didn't put their goal under more pressure. Create more chances. But I think how we arrived in areas of the pitch was really pleasing, and some of the play, in build-up was excellent.
I mean, you spoke about positives there, and when you look at it, 7 games unbeaten now. That's County's longest unbeaten run over the last 2 seasons. So we're obviously a difficult side to break down at the minute, difficult to beat, and that bodes well for the rest of the season, particularly if we do end up involved in the playoffs further down the line.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we, as I mentioned last week, is that we don't want to, we're not kidding ourselves. We don't think we're a finished article. We don't think that what this run is. The be all and the end all is, we're digging in times. The Sutton game, the Hartlepool game, we've had to show big character. And again, to get 3 points in these matches is tough, and you need to be at your best, and you need to earn the right to win the battle in the first point in any match, in my opinion. And then hopefully when you do that and you do that well, your quality comes through. So we're not too far away, and I think the run reflects that, and we've had some really, really good wins within that as well, where we have scored, plenty of goals in the Solihull game, and obviously 2 pleasing goals at Aldershot last week and the Eastleigh game. So, maybe on Monday it was just, on the day we just felt we didn't quite have that clinical cutting edge in the last third.
I mean, when you look at the sequence of the last 6 games, it's been win, draw, win, draw, win, draw. That obviously bodes quite well for Saturday's game, but what do you hope to start seeing more of in the future in order to start turning those draws into wins?
Well, I think the first thing is we've got to maintain what's good at the minute and look to build on that, and there is lots of good. I think we're a really united group. That's really important, and there's a real togetherness about what we're doing, whether it's the guys that finish the game or start the game. So we want to hold on to that and build and maintain that. I think some of our control possession is excellent. I do think we move the ball well with a good tempo, and we need just to make sure that remains effective, far more often than not, and spot them opportunities to be really devastating, when we do get to the last third of the pitch. So we need to hold on to them things that are good, and probably just be a little bit more clinical, not lose concentration in key moments in games, which we've been doing. And hopefully if we just day in, day out try to improve them things and hold on to what's good and just try and, small marginal gains and getting better, then hopefully them really tight games we can push in our favour.
Some other news coming out of the club this week was the new 2-year deals for Sam Minahan and Jordan Keane, 2 players that are obviously very popular with the fans, have been here for quite a few years now. I mean, how impressed with those 2 have you been since coming in?
Yeah, great characters. I think something that I've alluded to, in previous interviews is that, it's not just the ability of a football player, it's the ability of the person as well. And 2 really good characters that, come in, work very, very hard, work ethic. Both have got a great work ethic, good team players, and delighted for them that they get a little bit of stability in terms of next season.
I suppose when you look at it as well, they're 2 players that have really been with us from the start of this journey when we were part-time in the National League North. You also have Ben Hinchliffe and Ash Palmer tied down for next season as well. I mean, how important is it to have that sort of continuity and stability in your squad?
Yeah, I think it's important. Of course, we're a club that have got ambitions, and we want to grow, and we want to develop our team as part of that. I don't think I'd be too far wrong in saying pretty much every area of the football club we're always looking to get better and improve, and that's obviously part of the thing with the players that we have is improving on the grass as much as we can in the training sessions, in our scheme of work, and having a core group of players to do that, who have got really strong fundamentals about, you know, what it is to be part of a good professional team. That's important. So when the names that you mentioned, that's really, really important. Of course, that healthy balance as well with, you know, in a nice positive way. I always want the players looking over their shoulder and thinking, you know, to wear the shirt and represent this club now, there is a level of performance that needs to come with that. You know, that's just natural. So if them balances are right, you know, that's a healthy mix.
We obviously also had Jack Stretton and Nathan Shaw recalled to their parent clubs earlier this week. I mean, it was great to see Jack go straight into Derby's squad for the game on Monday, but how has that affected your plans moving forward?
Well, when you take players on loan, you're always aware that, you know, that could be cut short at the end of the 28-day period or the first month's loan. So, you know, it's something that we were prepared for. And as I said the other day, I think that the fact that in Jack's case that he's a player that Derby think a lot of, you know, and they, you know, no more represented him going back and featuring in their game on Monday. So I think we have to take, you know, pride that a club like Derby would have trusted us with one of their major talents. So as much as it was, you know, disappointing that we lose the ability to use Jack in our games, I think as a football club we can see that as a sign of progress, that, you know, a club such as Derby are willing to give us, you know, one of their top Category 1 players to enhance his development, and of course, you know, which then enables me to hopefully enhance our team's performance. So, you know, no major blow, part and parcel of the game when you take players on loan, and we wish Jack and both Nathan well in the next stage of their career.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a trip to Wrexham next up at the weekend. I mean, they went on a really good run for quite a long time, lifted them up into the playoff places, but they're coming into this one on the back of a couple of defeats. Got quite a few injury issues of their own at the minute, particularly up front. Is now a good time to be playing them?
It's perhaps not how I view the game. I think, you know, the games are complex sometimes in terms of how teams arrive at certain games. You know, perhaps when there's a few injuries, or perhaps when a team's, you know, off the back of one or two bad results, who knows, on the day things might conspire that could, you know, take a little bit of pressure off your opponent. So I think all of these things are really just external, and really it doesn't change our priorities at all. You know, it's a game that we're going to break down, and it's a tough game. You know, as I touched on, they've got ambitions themselves, a club. So, you know, even if they've got a couple of players missing, it still represents a really difficult game for us. So it's not something that I would overanalyse in terms of what state of mind our opponent's going to be in. You know, that doesn't change how we turn up and approach the match. You know, we'll be going there to win the game and doing everything we can within our own power and with our own control to achieve that.
And when you look at what the game means to us, they're obviously sitting just outside the playoff positions at the minute. So I suppose it's a real opportunity to solidify our place in that top 7 and open up a bit of a gap over them. Is that how you're seeing it going into the game?
Well, I think obviously if we do manage to get a positive result, that is a factor. You know, but it's not in my thinking in terms of how we approach the game. We try and win every single game. You know, every single game we step foot on the pitch with, we will be trying to win it. So it doesn't really change the approach from that point of view. That would be an added bonus, but equally, you know, things are going to chop and change. You know, we've got, you know, still a good amount of games to play. You know, roughly, which equates to a quarter of the season still. And there's going to be twists and there's going to be turns, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, some weeks for us, some weeks for our opponents. So we just need to roll with the punches, roll with the successes, and just keep our head on what our priorities are.
Great stuff, Simon. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.